Well, I'm just trying to give you my picture of communism, and I've just shared with you an edition of Stalin communism and then an edition of Lenin communism. I'm just trying to differentiate between them and give you an idea that communism being the whole and then Stalin era and Lenin era, they're not just a part of it, but in fact they are separate entities. Now we can talk about Mao Zedong in China. Well, the greatest of the success that the system of an economy, communism, has, that it can raise the working class to the highest of prosperity. The greatest of the strength, the greatest of the success that communism has, that communism can raise the working class, the wretched class, the peasantry, the labor of a country from the worst of the situation to the apex of the economy, to the most prosperous status in economy. Well, Russia was the worst example, and you see what happened. The socialists in Russia, when they came along with communism, they were able to lift the country from nowhere at all, and they became the superpower in the same century. There came the prosperity to the peasantry, to the working class, to the labor. And this is the miracle demonstrated by communism. The same goes to Mao Zedong when he practiced communism in his country. The conditions were very bad in China. China was in the clutches of the Europeans, and they were in fact exploited very, very badly. Their riches were taken away from them. Their resources were snatched away from them. And they were not even considered human beings. And I don't understand how could I reiterate the words when the world called them underdogs. And it was not just by the Europeans. Even talk about their neighbors, Japanese. They didn't spare any opportunity for the Chinese to sustain themselves. What can I say? How can I justify the expeditions that they led in Manchuria in the early part of the 20th century? And how the Chinese were treated as guinea pigs by the Japanese, and what really happened to the communities of Chinese in Manchuria, and how the sovereignty of China was demolished by Japan, and how badly they were treated. And in fact, the story continues. China was in very bad condition until Mao Zedong came along with communism to rescue them.